Next, our PR committee leaders, Maggie and Barbara, have asked Brandi to come up and tell us all what help is needed from the pictures that they're seeing and receiving to help us tell the community better through stories what the heck we're up to. So Brandi, I'll switch presentations here. And I'd also like to, acknowledge that Brandi is a photographer by profession and has volunteered herself and her time to do this. So we really appreciate that, Brandi. And if I could get.
So I've been doing professional photography for over 34 years. And I found out or discovered that the 30th was this week when I was returning from a 2-week vacation. So I'm going to try to put all the 34 years in a quick presentation in less than 15 minutes. So let's. Oops. Thank you. So. So one of the things, and all the phones usually are already set on high resolution mode. Settings, just make sure that it's on the highest capture, and that's going to maximize the versatility and how this club can use it for promotional uses. You can always make it smaller, making it larger, not so good. So again, I've been doing this for 34 years, but all you got to remember is everything. But because we only have a limited time, we're going to just do an introduction on a few basic key things that are going to help make all of us just a little bit better in how we compose our photos. So you're going to concentrate on framing, content, and lighting. So with framing, you want to think about horizontal as well as vertical. You want to think about the rule of thirds, and we'll kind of go over that. And it's basically how you're composing your photos. You want to fill the frame. You want to get up close. You want to fill the frame with whatever the activity is. And it could be at a distance, but you want to make sure that the viewer of the image is seeing what it is you're seeing. So zoom in or walk in and get closer. You also want to think about something other than just this perspective. Look at it at a lower angle, or get up safely on a ladder or a rooftop or something that you can get a different perspective of whatever the activity is. Get creative. So whenever I'm like, can you take a picture? I usually get this kind of a picture. You get a lot of space around. You get somebody with their eyes right in the middle, and you have a lot of wasted space. So then you're like, can you shift it up? So now here's where the rule of thirds are starting to come in. You want to put the eyes in the upper third of your image, be it horizontal, get rid of that, or vertical. So again, if you have vertical, look at all that empty space that's on the top of the image. But if you shift it up, it's a little bit nicer thing. So it's just a matter of how you're looking at how you're framing your image. And you can see how you're looking at the image in thirds and how you have those components. And then afterwards, you can always crop. There's a lot of tools within your cell phone, as well as some aftermarket photo applications that can do some additional, but you want to do as much as you can on the front side and minimize your work on the back side. So other things to think of, I did this really quickly and it actually proved to be really helpful to illustrate. You want to also think of other things in the photo, and that's also the straight lines and stuff. On the left, you can correct it afterwards, but if you're thinking about it ahead of time, think about, are they standing up straight or not? And then again, thinking about a higher perspective, whatever the activity might be, or a lower perspective is kind of give you a different thing. So for content, you want to tell the story of what's happening. I was a photographer for the Relay for Life, and we had to find the relay within the relay. And if anybody's attended a relay, you know there's a lot of people that don't come with branding, that just bring the barbecues or whatever. And if you just take a picture of somebody barbecuing, it looks like Uncle John's barbecue. You want to have it show whatever it is in association to that activity or event, that this is what it is. It could be branding, it could be the actual thing, it could be like the eyeglasses. You know, if we go to another country and do the eyeglass exchange, it could be all about the eyeglasses. It could be about the shoes that I forgot what the forever shoes are that grow with you. But you want to include anything relevant to that activity. It's not a one-shot thing. So it could be the people, it could be the tools that's used, it could be, again, those items that are being gifted or fundraised for, it could be the collaboration of work, it could be groups, it could be, you know, anything that's related to that activity. Just have fun capturing different snapshots of it. And again, you want to take more than one photograph, and that's even with a single scenario. I'll show you an example of why. And then consider the detail images. So you might have somebody that's, you know, not cooperative. And then you take another one and he's still not being cooperative. But then you finally get your success. So people do like want to rearrange their hair, their eyes are closed. If you're having a group of people, somebody might still be like looking down. So you want to take a couple of captures just to maximize a better image. Want to make sure that you can see whatever it is. So you can adjust that by having the person move it or you move. So you can see the left is the glare, the right has, speaking of, you also want to think about other components in the image. You want to make sure that it's not unflattering to whoever it is by having something sticking out of the top of their head. And again, that's a simple moved them or you. And then a detailed photo and it kind of changes it up. So, and if you want to be in the photograph, you can do a selfie, kind of what we were just doing. You can use a tripod, which you can buy online at your local Target. Now I can't even get it, but you can get it in there and you can put it on your timer mode and your settings. And you can also ask somebody else, but again, you might be at the mercy of having your eyes right smack in the middle of the very distant thing. So in your Rotary magazine this year, you can also see an example of rule of thirds. You can see kind of a close-up shot of the activity. The person does not have to be looking at the camera. You also want them to be engaged with the thing. And don't be shy. Get in there and say, can you do that again? I mean, that's also part of being in the fellowship, the community, and you can have a lot more fun that way. You can also see here some examples from other clubs, and there's great examples of how to change it up and capture the different events. And then furthermore, which this one is on page 30, there's a whole series of stuff that shows, you know, how they captured that event, and you can see the food that was served, some of the packets that were given out, the people involved. So I would encourage you also to look at your magazine to kind of get some additional ideas. Lighting, there's all kinds of lighting that's given to us. We have like overcast, soft. It's great because it kind of fills in all the shadows and gives a lot of details. It's a great natural softbox. You have sunshine that doesn't always lend to some favorable things, but it's also really nice because it gives you more of a contrast. So you want to avoid people looking right into the sun because it blinds them. There's side lighting, which can be nice, and I'll show you some examples. Back short distance, so I'll try to be 20 feet away and expect that to work. And then inside, the camera auto adjusts for the exposure in most cases. Okay, so we'll wrap it up real quick. So you also want to be aware, you can see in your camera, hand over, so shading the lens, like go between, but you want to make sure that your fingers aren't in there. You can always look in your camera to see that. Nice shade, back lighting, side lighting, front lighting, and this is taken about almost noon. You can see that the front lighting is not as favorable, it makes you have raccoon eyes and everything. So have people shift and move again so that you can see the people, that they're not uncomfortable and it's flattering to them. And then most importantly, have fun when you're capturing these images. And I may have 30 seconds to answer any questions. That's a really quick synopsis.
That's great.
Yeah, that's some 30 years of experience in less than 15 minutes. So, take note. Everybody got all that? Okay. Dick has a question.
Pardon?
You got the theory of it. The practice will take 30 years to practice.
Dick has a question for you.
Not a question, I just have a comment after taking a lot of pictures in this room. Be aware of your background too, because there are so many people in pictures that I've taken that have that lamp growing out of the top. Just be aware. I mean, you're doing this quickly usually with a project or something, but try to take in the whole picture.
Well, that goes back to my initial statement. All you got to remember is everything.
Thank you, Brandi.